And they do have the tier 4s under assault, so VP have to worry about the creeps as well. Another kickback, this time onto Roger. He's dead a second time. That's a dieback as well as no one. He's gone as well. On the top lane, though,
getting
Mind
low.
Control, he's already dead. That's going to be another dieback. Ramses and Pasha, they managed to combine forces to bring him down. Now, Miracle, they can't afford to lose him. Kuro managed to protect him with the help of GH, but Pasha jumping forward. They're going to go for the kill onto the squishy support. It only takes a couple of shots to manage to get the Shadow Realm off. The healing up. Snowball managed to save him. Ramsey with another buyback. Pasha has to be able to get out of this one. He needs his disables to be able to help out Ramsey. The kick at the end to finish him off. 2 heroes down with no buyback. 3 are still up from VP, but there's a shit ton of ancient creeps all over the place. No one has to battle through this one, trying to armlet tuggle against these megas. The throne is exposed, but he's now down. It's all up to Ramsey with BKB. He's going for it.
He's going to get kicked
away
again.
Magic immunity. It's just gone, and the throne is exposed, so that is over.
Like a goddamn kickboxer. He tore them up in that fight. I was questioning the axe. It kind of made me think for a second, but that was phenomenal.
GH knew exactly what he was doing. He's like, look at this guy. He's going to get a BKB on a lifestealer. I'm going to make him look like a goddamn fool.
That was insane. They couldn't team fight against it. Nope. Everyone was just getting kicked or punched nonstop. Liquid out-execute at the very end. VP, they made it so close.
I love the fact, too, that the first heroes that die in that final fight, Miracle's Nature's Prophet, Mind Control's Underlord. Both those heroes can instantly buy back and TP in.
Yes.
VP had everything going against them. It wasn't just a 5-on-5. It was a 5-on-5 with buybacks and instant TPs. It was ancient creeps hitting on your tier 4s. Everything was set against VP, and they still almost managed to make that work. But it is Liquid taking this very first game. It was a crack or two. I can't wait for more of this series, and I know the panel can't wait too. It's their time to take over this Game 1 analysis.
Very much, Cap. Yes, what an extraordinary start to the day we've had. Fantastic game between LGD and EG early on, and we're getting just as much riches in our first matchup between Liquid and Virtus.pro. By a hair's breadth, they managed to win the first game in this best of 3. Let's get some analysis from our boys. Lacoste, that was fun.
Yeah, that Tusk kicking, punching people. It's a boxer.
just get out of here.
MMA Tusk. That's
MMA
what it was.
Tusk. I like that. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, the problem was with the Liquid's lineup, with the VP's lineup, that Liquid was putting a lot of pressure early on, and they were pushing out the wave so they could do what they needed to do. Everyone was doing their job early on, and which opens up the Roche. This was the 4th Roche that they took. So
it was, yeah.
They had a problem with pushing out the waves. With you have a Chen, you have Disruptor. They don't provide anything. Lifestealer is not that strong, especially with the build that he went for. He was forced to go into that build because they needed to defend. Also, the pipes, all the hoods on side of VP, they needed to build those small items to get back into the game. At one point, it felt like they could take over it, but once Nature's Prophet gets that level 25 talent and 2 sides are down, he can just keep TPing. They're just going to keep them busy, try to take a team fight. Everyone has a buyback on side of Team Liquid. After that,
this is the fight where the game started to tilt back. They gambled, they used the buyback on Lifestealer. They took a surprise fight here on Liquid, starting the comeback towards the game, even though they had to still defend for the next 20 to 20 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, it was 25 minutes in. This was it was a risky buyback, and then I mean, I guess you were not that worried about Liquid winning this game, Winter, but there was a window, wasn't there? And they were starting to reach the end of it.
I mean, I was kind of like feeling that maybe VP had that little bit of advantage after using their buyback to secure that fight with the Lifestealer and DK getting their BKBs. Like Lacoste mentioned earlier, they had to buy a hood and a pipe on the Lifestealer and a DK just to hold them in the game, just to defend. But the game just went on way too long with the Prophet 25, and you have 2 lanes down. It's just way too difficult to defend.
Yeah, that TP anywhere 0 cooldown, Lacoste, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. we were laughing about it before it even started.
But he was just trying to push the lanes in. He's bot, then he's mid, then he's back to mid at the start, then he's top.
Look at this kick. Then, I mean, he's picking up the runes. He's at the secret shop, split pushing. Virtus.pro, I think they maybe lacked Basher on one of the heroes, probably Lifestealer, just to keep them in place.
Not according to you. I'm on the fight. Liquid, like they draft and now like play with mobility in mind, right? So you see in the early game they're basically swarming around everywhere. It's like the Zerg, right? It's like everywhere you go, there's always like a there's
Nice
the
StarCraft
Zerglings,
reference, bro.
There's a Nature's Prophet Zerglings. There's 4 or 5 heroes constantly. If you just look at like the map of movements, the guitar picks on the Radiant side, they're just everywhere.
See ya. That was ridiculous, wasn't it?
In addition to that, again, as one of the casters mentioned just now, again, besides the mobility, you have Nature's Prophet and Underlord who can get back into fights instantly. So they always have a numbers advantage everywhere, and that's like the key to their game, right? They start off with a numbers advantage to take your outer towers. That opens up Roshan. With that extra gold, they transition those into smaller items. These bucklers, mechs, and pipes. Obviously, many teams get that anyway, but they get those a little bit sooner, which allows them to take the next fight. The other thing that's interesting about Liquid's support picks is if you look at what a Tusk or an Earthshaker has in common is if you have a numbers advantage, you can section off the fight so that the other team, even if they manage to get numbers there, cannot fight you. That's what those heroes provide. So even if they can't take like a proper 5-on-5 engagement, the enemy teams do not get a chance to do that. If you don't have the numbers there, you lose your heroes quickly and you can't recover. So they applied that pressure this game. Obviously, we saw a point where Virtus.pro's balance and scaling started to be an issue, but by then they were already down 2 lanes of Raxes, and Liquid just kind of whittled them away from there.
GH 2, 4, and 25. In for 25 of the 29 kills. And the 4 he missed, I think he was busy kicking players all over the other side of the map. So, fantastic game from GH, and obviously Miracle standing out there as well. 16, 5, and 13 on the back of nearly 40k damage. Fantastic.
He's definitely the MVP this game.
Miracle?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Did so much in the game. Like, he was so farmed that we were looking at the net worth. Oh, the Prophet was like a 27k net worth.
It was.
The next
10k difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely outstanding. Fantastic game from Miracle. And he helped secure his team a 1-0 lead over the only team that are currently qualified for the international, which is Virtus.pro. Liquid not too far behind them.
Their first loss of the tournament.
It is their first loss, you're right, yeah. 7 wins in the group stages without defeat, so...
Wave
yeah.
clear. I just want to reiterate again, wave clear. This is very important against a team like VP.
Yep.
Maybe the next game they might adjust and have much more. Maybe a wave clear hero, or they would need a vision hero, because if you're playing against this kind of like Kotal, Prophet,
mobile
hero, you're going to need vision to kill them.
For sure. All right. We'll get more thoughts from all 3 of our panel members very shortly, but we're headed to a break right now. When we come back, Virtus.pro on the hook right now as Liquid lead 1-0.
好，大家好。那这边的话，我们请到了 VP 战队来玩我们这个惩罚的小游戏。我们这边有一个惩罚游戏机呢，如果谁的反应慢，在开始之后没有按下手上的按钮的话，就会被电到。你好。Yeah.
Alright, so this game, alright.
Let's just get started.
我不按呀，我们要按的。
你按呀！
啊，我按过了。
你按呀！来了，来了，来了！
I've never tried this hard at something in my life, dude. I'm so focused right now. Can't see your needle.
哎呀，乱一下，乱一下，都不知道哪个能轮。
没有没有，我这个我就我的，别这个
没有，这个可以，这样就 OK 了。
大哥，你这手好白啊！
没有，方丈的经历是你。
我一就按了，不是我，我被他手给吸引了。
Alright, solo.
Yo, okay.
They're gonna revenge for him.
不会还是我被电了？
看那边手的抖动就是，这个在按着。
就夹克没被电过。
想办法去。
好，我想办法。
是我，或者是可以。
Yeah, this is a really good game for Dota. You know, improve your reflexes and reaction time. You can buy it at your local, I don't know, grocery store, I guess. But I'll use this to help my team train as soon as I get back to New York. So I'm looking forward to that.
Welcome back to Shanghai for live coverage of the Dota 2 Asia Championships presented by Perfect World. Day number 2 of the main event is well underway. LGD earlier on winning by 2-0 over Evil Geniuses to reach the semi-final. And right now we're in the matchup between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the world. Liquid lead by 1-0 as we head towards game number 2. And if you saw the Ronaldo overhead kick last night, who needs that when you've got GH on a tusk, huh? Game number 2, is he going to get it again? That's the big question. One of the many questions.
Is he going to get the task with Agrims again?
Yeah, is he going to get it again?
I'm not sure.
Profit is the important.
Oh, Profit is not going to go through the first
No, we definitely
phase.
don't think Profit's going to go through. Tusk probably will. What did you call it? The MMA Tusk. I like that. I think that's what we have to dub that. We definitely have to dub that the MMA Tusk from now on. It was a fantastic display towards the end of the game.
Jack, I got to ask you a question before we start. That shock thing, that shock game, you looked more shocked, more than when actually Venomancer was nerfed.
It was quite painful. If you've played the game, you would understand. There's two settings. There's an extreme pain and a regular one. We actually didn't use the extreme one, but it hurts.
Well,
So,
you know what to do though, Jack, don't you? Be quicker.
Yeah. It's,
You're obviously too slow in reacting to that, right?
yeah, it hurts me in Dota too, but you know, game is hard.
And are you genuinely gonna try that with the Storm Boys?
I think it would be a fun game to play. At least, you know, you'll see at the next tournament.
Yeah,
You'll see in
well,
Thailand
yeah,
if it works
absolutely,
out.
yeah. We'll
I
figure-
can guarantee you Jack's lying. He's not going to do that with his team. Never. Jack is a serious person,
He's
you know.
he's too nice, isn't he?
If that video comes out, I'll link it to you first, Winter.
All right, get into our second draft then. And we will see whether the Prophet makes it through after
by
a
the
very
way,
good display from Miracle.
Liquid is on Radiant again. And I saw some stat about
Yeah.
being on Radiant. Like you,
EG favoured it as well earlier, didn't they?
what's the win rate so far?
73.4%. I don't know. I just made that up.
That's like, isn't that like 87% of all statistics are made up on the spot? I think you might be right there. Yeah.
But it's high. It's really high. Considering most of the teams, let's take it back like 3 months ago. Everyone was favoring Dire because of that those stacks. Maybe even more, like 4 or 5 months when Medusa was popular pick, and then we had Gyro with the Mask of Madness, Luna with the Mask of Madness, all these carries that you can stack the triangle. It feels like that it's people figured out how to plant good vision from the Radiant side.
Guess what? The Prophet has been banned, but it's not the right Prophet. It's the other one. And the Tusk has been banned, so GH will not be doing any more kicking around.
He's
the
going to
map.
play Osprey this game. The
Perhaps
replacement.
Not a bad idea, no.
I think for the Radiant Dire part, like you mentioned, the cost with like the stacks and the 2 Dire triangles, that favors Dire. In the past, I also heard players say that before they moved the towers to make it harder to gank mid, that Radiant had a harder mid lane to protect. It was more accessible to ganks. But that is less of the case now. And if you look at some of Radiant's advantages, even though their neutral camps aren't as efficient or they're on low ground even, they have one clear advantage around Roshan. So not just in terms of pathways and approaches, but usually each team's safe lane tower falls first. So if you're on Radiant and you take that safe lane tower of the Dire, you're naturally kind of playing in their jungle, and that area is where a lot of approaches to Roshan come from. So that's like a small advantage that they have.
Did you know as well, I don't know if you've ever mentioned this, Lacoste, or heard me talk about it, I read some stuff about left to right and up and down.
Yeah, that's what I talk about when I
Really weird,
play.
isn't it?
Yeah, but it's more
But it's
natural
true.
for me to attack from left to right than down
exactly.
to up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of players feel that it's almost like they don't know that they do, but they do.
Every time I play pub, when I get Radiant, I'm more excited.
Really?
Like, yes, I got it.
Strange, isn't it? All right, we've got an AA Veno against the Chen opening from Virtus.pro. Okay.
They changed this time.
Yeah. Well, they had to. I
Liquid
guess.
change.
Yeah,
Huh.
Liquid changed. Yeah.
That's surprising.
5 seconds remaining.
I think to counter what Liquid's playstyle has been in the mobility. Again, the AA provides mobility by being a support with global range to their fights. Liquid can opt for, they can take away some of the balance in their lineup and opt for these more mobile laners that can also dominate in the lane. So something like a Weaver, I don't know if they pick it here, but that's something that threatens these Liquid heroes, gives you pretty good lane presence and mobility as well, so you can kind of match their speed a little bit.
An early
Storm.
Terror Blade from Virtus.pro.
Terrible has been a hero that I
10
think
seconds remaining.
a lot of teams have been favoring, especially LGD has been favoring a lot.
5
Strongest
seconds remaining.
strongest carry in the game so far. Very little weakness, I would say. Pretty good in the laning phase, pretty good in the early parts of the game, very strong later. You have to like draft specific heroes to deal with him, like Tinker, Timbersaw. Like very, very different heroes to deal with that.
Almost off-meta heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem was in the previous game that they didn't have that mech slash pipe carrier, and they were playing against the Venomancer, so both cores bought it. I think Virtus.pro is going to go for something that builds into it. Maybe even Underlord. It sounds like a decent pick for them this time if they can get hands on it.
Some interesting bands coming out here.
Yeah, and the Nature's Prophet perhaps a bit surprisingly untouched by both teams early on in this draft.
I mean, that's the thing, you know, you win with this hero, and you kind of expect you have this thought process of maybe they will adjust to the Prophet. They're going to figure out something that deals with Prophet. So we're just not going to do it. We'll do something else.
Yeah. And I think Virtus.pro have figured that out as well.
Yep, those two heroes are pretty good against the Terrorblade Tide and Underlord. It reduces the damage output by TB by a huge margin. It's pretty good at clearing out his illusions.
Yeah, also Dragonite probably gonna, or not. Never mind. I mean, it opens up the Dragonite for both of the teams if they want to play it. Viper is banned out. AA is, I mean, on the side of Team Liquid, so that favors them more.
So a G8 Shaker.
Yeah, that's a great pick because there's gonna be a lot of stuff in the game. There's like Chen creeps and there's gonna be the illusions from Terrorblade. So you're gonna see some really big echo slams in the game. And AA, Veno, Earthshaker, your team fight is pretty much secured.
I like how Miracle doesn't do anything, just biting his nails, waiting. Just pick my hero so we can play the game, and everyone else is contributing to the to the picks.
I'm sure when remote play comes in, he'll be the guy sat at home going, yeah, just beam me in when you finish the draft, and I'll start.
What the Earthshaker does that's similar to the Tusk that was banned. Again, some of these GH heroes again is he has burst and he's able to create terrain. And so if you're playing a very mobile lineup where you're expecting to get numbers 3 or 4 heroes to a fight, you have the Earthshaker, all of a sudden the help cannot arrive, or the help has to come through a very bad position to be able to help your heroes unless you're already in position against them. So that's something that, again, GH does exceptionally well as a great spellcaster, and that aids Liquid's playstyle quite a bit, because all of a sudden, even if you had numbers at a fight, you can't actually get them into the fight effectively.
You know what hero Virtus.pro is going to pick? Darkseer. That's the mech slash pipe carrier, and it's comboed good with the Disruptor.
They used to pick it a lot. Back
I mean,
before
he got a lot of buffs.
Yeah, kind of. A lot of, but his early game is still...
Yeah, but you still don't use early vacuums anyway.
And I'm kind of thinking about whether they want to... If you want to pick Brood, you're not going to get it in the last pick. So if Brood is really good, you have to consider about picking up early. Nope, so no, it's going to be the Lone Druid. So that's going to be the... I guess the Matu hero. And Veno is going to be either on MC... most likely on MC, and the last one will be Miracle Hero.
Do you know how many times these two have played on the DPC so far this season? 12 times. You know what the score is?
6-6?
It absolutely is.
Really?
Yep.
Add one more 6, and then you have Ramses.
That's very devilish of you.
So Lone Druid, a hero that Liquid favors quite a bit. And it's a hero who's usually fairly difficult to gank in his lane. You often don't, as unlike many other kind of cores, you don't really have to provide too much protection for this hero most of the time. Obviously takes objectives very quickly, and he does some of the same functions, like in terms of mobility, being able to move that bear around to assist with pushes,
Creep wave.
waves,
Yeah.
being able to TP, even to different places, and then also having like a fear, right, which also works to separate enemy heroes or protect themselves so that you can take these pinpoint fights.
That's the offlane. I think it's the offlane Naga Siren.
Yeah.
Seen them around there before. This hero does provide them with the reset against the team fight, the Ice Blast, Veno ulti, and it does provide them with also good wave clear later into the game when you have levels in your Riptide, illusions, and the possibility also of maybe building those utility items. I'm not sure if it's a good idea on if you buy pipe or grease on an offlane.
No, I don't think Pasha gets a Meteor Hammer. It's been nerfed for the combo, but he can go for a mech, for a pipe.
Maybe not mech, but pipe.
Aghanims.
Yeah, maybe not mech, pipe.
Yeah.
Pipe is definitely going to be very useful this game as well. But I like the pick here by VP, the Naga. Has a lot of utility for this game.
Yeah, they have no gap closers, so that's why they banned out the Sniper, and it's really good against the Veno and Lone Druid in general.
10 seconds remaining.
So what are the kind of the other heroes that no one has right now? Because there's a TB, so I feel like he kind of has to be maybe a more active hero, like a...
You might just get the Dragon Knight again.
Yeah.
It's still available here.
Against AA, it always feels like they have an upper hand with an AA.
There's not many teams that faced off against each other. Both of them would ban the Brood last pick.
Yeah, like I said, if they want the Brood, there's no way they're gonna get it in the last pick.
They'd have to pick it.
Who banned it? Who banned it last? Did
Liquid banned it last time. Yeah.
What about? I mean, Liquid still has the last pick. I was
So
thinking about maybe a Storm Spirit. They
Yeah,
have no
because they don't have
lockdown.
lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That could be a
So
good
that
idea.
could be like a
But Storm is
Quap-
Storm is
Quap
like a weak hero.
puck.
In the,
This could be free Quap puck Storm game.
Yeah.
No
How does
lockdown
the-
whatsoever.
How does the Drow fit here?
Nah, too many.
too many heroes to protect though.
Yeah.
If you have
Yeah,
Draw.
that's true.
Draw and TB are both like heroes that require attention. That you want to play around with. Like generally speaking, you only want to have one kind of those heroes. So
Right, puck's more sensible.
they don't have. I mean, Earthshaker when you have Blink, it's pretty good at because it's instant.
Yeah,
More
but
like-
you can't kill him, solo kill him anymore. Like
Yeah,
that
you
was
got-
the
they have
biggest
ice-
stopper.
They have Ice Blast.
Yeah. Well,
It's easy to get an extra spell on top of the puck if they find him in an open position.
It's also good wave spammer. There is still the Nature's Prophet.
there's still
available here.
Dragonite for them. It's good against the puck.
Yeah.
Like the stun is not instant, but it provides them the lockdown, and it gives them more. I mean, the hero comes online pretty fast, and they
How
just
about
need the
Invo-
buy
how about
time for
Invoker?
lone druid.
What's wrong with the Timbersaw here?
Timber Sword. No, it's actually not bad. That's actually quite a good idea. Because you lane well against puck,
Yep.
and you are really good against
TB.
the illusions. Possible, definitely possible. That's actually a good idea. Paul, good idea.
don't sound so surprised. Come on, Winter. Play the game.
Yeah, they know what it is. They just want to sit down.
Well, you can talk about the lanes, right? And take this time to figure out the lane matchups instead of having to pick right away.
You can
Alright.
start, Jack. Back to you,
Here we go.
Choose your hero.
Paul.
Paul is the man, man. Paul is the man.
What do you know?
Paul once told me one thing. Preparation is key.
It's true. I did tell you that. Yeah, and you still don't do it. Right. Let's turn our attention towards predictions. Lacoste.
I'd say Liquid's lineup and the Timbersaw fits them nicely. They don't have too many answers for it. Overall, the whole lineup looks good. Again, they're looking into 20-25 minute game. They could have closed the previous game also at 20-minute mark. So that's the game style that they play. So Liquid.
Okay. All right. Liquid for you, Winter.
I think VP has much better answers to all the wave clear that Liquid has this time, and they have a puck where the enemy has very little catch. So I think VP has what it takes to even this series out this time.
Okay. Jack.
Yeah, I was worried about if VP would move away from some of the balance they've had to kind of match Liquid's speed and mobility. I think they have with this draft, so I'm going with VP for this game.
Okay. A little swing across the aisle for Jack as he goes for Virtus.pro this time around. And we have a 2 versus 1 on the panel. Let's head back to the arena and find out whether Virtus.pro can get back into this series. They find themselves 1 down to Team Liquid.
Now again, if we go back to the history of this series, it tells us that this will go to a Game 3. VP were the ones who won in Bucharest Major, so it should be Liquid's turn, and they looked really good for that Game 1, but it is a different draft this time around. Liquid have gone in for a lot of magic damage, a lot of team fight power. VP, though, Winter was saying that he thinks that they have better answers to the wave clear this time around. You agree?
I think this one should be a lot more even. Although you could argue that VP did very well, if not outright won 2 of the 3 lanes. It didn't seem to matter. Just the ability to 5-man from Liquid was so strong. And I like that. I kind of agreed with that post. Like I saw some posts on Reddit where somebody was talking about how if you win the laning phase, like it places a lot of importance on that. But
yeah.
I mean, in the 2 series that we saw so far, you can overcome those disadvantages by just clean teamfight execution and good maneuvering. And so far we've seen that. And I mean, I love watching these 2 teams play. That you can genuinely feel the skill. They trade blows back to back. Nothing comes easy for either side.
Do you feel like there are teams making these adaptations to the fact that they're losing laning phase and trying to figure something out?
Yeah, I think they're getting a little bit smarter about it as GH. He knows that Solo's here.
He's going to have to try and sneak his way through. Solo He's not going to be able to get the snipe on the courier that he was hoping for. That would have given the puck a decent chance here against this Timbersaw. But now with the courier advantage even out, Miracle is going to be able to just play that reactive armor, and eventually he should be able to do quite well in this lane, right?
Yeah. There's only like twice that I played this. And one of the times I think was actually against no one in an FPL game. But he had Draw Aura. So that's my excuse for why I died 14 times.
Miracle, he just has to make sure he doesn't die in the first like couple of levels, right? Once you get the higher levels of reactive armor, he should be good.
Yeah, that was also the more broken puck, where your ult did damage.
The excuses just keep on piling up.
Yeah. Like hitting for like 40 more than me, man. What do you want?
You could see it here. No one hitting for 69 damage here. Only 52 for Miracle. But he is still doing okay in CS. 4-0 with a creep wave pushing into him. 10-2 though. The puck utter domination right now. In part thanks to Solo. Always keeping this Timbersaw back. Our side lanes, we do have a Venomancer in a 1v1 right now against Naga Siren at that top lane. Pasha playing his off lane. Naga Siren, we've only seen this once or twice. I think one of which was at maybe Katowice.
Yeah, that's really interesting that they've elected to go for that in this game 2, where this would be the first time either of them would 2-0 each other in quite some time.
Solo again going to make the rotation as a disruptor to set up a kill. That's going to be first blood for Pasha. That's twice now that a disruptor has been the determining factor in the first blood.
Solo playing very fluidly. Hit in top. He's going to get the stun off.
Oh.
Doesn't actually block him from that bounty rune,
He blocks himself out.
Yeah, Pasha's even going to find a haste rune here. Or Solo's going to find a haste rune here. So they're going to make the lane swap.
So I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do with that. And yep, you're right. Lane swap out. Naga Siren heads to bottom. So it'll be a Chen Naga Siren lane. They'll have the Terrorblade against the Venomancer. You feel like they just don't want. Oh, block in. Ramses may have switched up the lanes, but it's not looking great for him right now. Now Solo TP's in, trying to help him out. The kinetic field trying to keep GH locked in. Not going to happen. Mind Control just keeps on laying the damage out onto Solo. As much harassment as possible. They do have another Fissure if they feel like they can go for a kill here. GH around behind the tower, starts banging onto Solo. Still has that Fissure, trying to wait for a good block off here. Gets it now. Solo is going to be caught by Mind Control. Looks like he's going to try and get into the tree, see if he can finish off GH before he goes down, but GH, he survives, gets off the healing salve. Ramses comes in to push back Mind Control. He does not have Reflection to be able to slow down the Venomancer, but Venomancer is not as fast, so Mind Control, he's dead anyway.
Yeah, he was trying not to run into the tower, but he was put into sort of an impossible situation as no one getting chased out by this Timbersaw, who's got 10 stacks of reactive armor. Very unlikely for the creeps to help out no one in this situation.
So you could see, despite the early advantage of the puck, the Timbersaw is now beginning to even out that CS and can play pretty fearlessly against him. Top lane, they're going to go for it again. Another great Fissure block. Mind Control trying to get in front of Ramses too. Still no Reflection. Can't really slow down these heroes, so it looks like Ramses is just going to be caught. Slowly but surely, the magic damage of the Venomancer will whittle him down. Even if the right clicks do not, Mind Control's just going to keep going for it here. Ramses might just be fast enough now, but hits him with another Gale. And an Ancient Apparition is going to cut off his retreat. Mind Control, though, took a lot of damage diving that tower, so it's going to be Roger and Solo making sure they get a kill in return. Double kill for Solo.
Yeah, they're going to get both the heroes there. Very nice rotation. Solo once again in the perfect position as a disruptor.
Yeah, I don't get it. How is this guy? It feels like the disruptor's supposed to be kind of bad. He doesn't really have a disable. He's just kind of hits you with just raw damage, and yet this guy is always making rotations and getting kills.
Yeah. Solo has one of the best positioning games as a 5 position. He's very aggressive. He matches the style of his team. He's not a passive 5 position player whatsoever, but neither is Kuro. So he's come up top to battle.
Yeah, but he's going to maybe get into a battle that's a little bit too much for him to handle. Glimpse back into 3 heroes, gets off whatever damage he can, but he's definitely dead. And now Mind Control is going to take a lot of damage in return with a Reflection. They're going to slow him down. They might be able to kill him. Fairy Fire goes out. Mind Control just trying to beat down Ramses and slow him out, but Ramses will survive. They'll get the send back on the Disruptor and just the added bit of advantage.
Yeah, that is going to be a killing spree onto Solo. Mind control already at 4 deaths, but he has learned from his friend 11, and he will just continue to go up here.
That is 15 reactive armor charges Solo. I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to do against this Timbersaw. So he heads back up to the top lane. Try and secure the Terrorblades farm a little bit more. Meet up with the Chen. See where they're going to rotate to.
GH going to grab a bounty rune. Going to grab both of them, and they continue to try to play in this top lane area. And
What do you think? What do you think the chances are they actually kill Miracle with this rotation?
I think they're actually going to grab him.
They get a coil. Now he does have a chamber chain out, but no way to be able to get to those trees on the side. A Fissure is not going to be enough to stop the damage, and he will end up going down.
Yeah. The coil on the low ground is really key here.
Yeah.
And no one has opted not to go for the level of phase shift. So it's a lot more burst damage than you anticipate.
It's a good call, right? You just need as much damage as possible.
Look at that play mid. They go for the send back orb so that he can refill.
Solo. Going to be caught here by Ancient Apparition and the Venomancer. Now Kuro caught in the kinetic field. Actually, his mind control is going to be the one in trouble. Managed to get the glimpse back. Ramses, he's actually going to lead that kill for Roger, and he's going to go for the extra +1 on Kuro. But Kuro into the tower, into the trees, will manage to get away. But yeah, you were saying the Chen sent back on a puck?
Yeah, he sent him back as he threw the orb out so that he could refill his bottle completely.
And he needs that extra regen because Timbersaw's constant harassment.
It feels like Solo is out rotating GH right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Now Roger going to be caught. GH setting up here. Doesn't actually have a stun.
Only level 2 right now on this Earthshaker. Can't really provide anything for his team. Tamaman, the good news is he's getting absolute free farm. It's been uncontested so far in this bottom lane as in mid. You're going to make another attempt on him. There's the coil. Miracle. Got 15 stacks.
Caught again. The orb almost brings him down. Now the coil's going to wear out, but glimpse back. He's going to try and get a timber chain through. The damage is just not going to be enough. The reactive armor is playing its part. They need to get another round of nukes out. The orb needs to be able to land here, but Miracle, oh no, he actually missed the tree, but still surviving. Turning around, goes for a little bit of chakram action, tries to kill no one. Ends up dying though, thanks in part to Pasha. The Riptide coming in, allowing no one to get the last hit.
Yeah. Could have potentially lived there.
And another send back play.
Gonna orb, bottle like crazy, get back here. Gonna get to full HP and mostly full mana.
Do you think they should be getting as many kills on this Timbersaw as they are?
And he's diving behind the tier 2 tower, or tier 1 tower. It's not too unexpected that they are getting kills. He's overplaying his tankiness a little bit, presuming that nobody will go on him, and Ramses
and
using that reflection.
The puck is here, but a nice Fissure block. They're going to keep them away from the Ancient Apparition. Mind control, though, is going to be caught by the 2 support. So even if the AA gets away, and he may not actually, trying to speed boost himself around a little bit, slow down no one in the process. He does have an orb and a coil, but he's not going to try for it. He's got to defend mid. Miracle is pressuring that tower once again.
Yeah. People don't think of Timbersaw as a push hero. Hold that thought. Solo coming in.
They think they could do this, but Solo has to be careful of the Timbersaw, has to dodge the chakra. Miracle just refuses to throw it out. Now Roger's going to be here. Look at this army of golems. He can actually stun up these heroes. Kuro, he's going to die.
That's a lot of stuns.
1, 2, 3, 4. So many golems coming out with the setback as well for Roger. Oh no, he's not going to get caught. This leap goes down. It actually might be enough, but no, the in-stay around from the Bear is just going to be enough. Resetting this team fight. Solo's back here in the engagement, but Liquid are too strong for VP to be able to fight after the sleep.
That was hilarious.
Oh no, Ramses. He's going to have to sunder his illusion to give himself a little bit more HP, and that will be enough to survive through the magic damage.
That was so many golems. He just started chucking stones left and right. Very judgmental. As Matama Man is going to grab the tier 1 tower mid. That is another tower in the books. As Pasha made his rotation, Matama Man took advantage of that fact. And now Solo getting wrapped around on. Mind control has got the Gale. Misses it though.
Misses the Gale. Nice dodge from Solo. He's still going to be caught though. GH coming in from behind. So sadly, those jukes not really worth a whole lot. Another Ghost Lady.
I like the Ghost Ladies.
You like the Ghost Ladies?
Yeah.
Keep on seeing those picked up by people. Got a pretty potent slow. He's got double centaurs as well. They're going to go for Miracle here. Now he is full HP, has a good amount of reactive armor stacks, but they do have the extra heroes. Pasha as well as the Terrorblade come in. Minus armor, physical damage, and a raw host of nukes from the puck. Make it look easy to bring down a Timbersaw.
Yeah. So Liquid are disregarding the lanes. They're just like, we're going to continue to die. That is the third death from this Timbersaw. We were talking about how he doesn't really come with tower hitting abilities, but he is very good at pushing down that tier 1 tower because he just tanks up the wave, skips, allows his creeps to get on top of the tower untouched.
So while you could say that this Timbersaw is being over-aggressive, it does seem like it's kind of part of the plan for Liquid, for him to draw a lot of attention to that mid lane.
I don't know if it's the plan for him to die 3 times, but
maybe not this much, but
I mean, Miracle's just an aggressive player to begin with, and VP are taking advantage of that. Like, they're always making the rotation. They're even going to find Matamba Man here.
Matamba Man, who had the highest net worth pretty easily, but he is a tanky beast. That's why the puck is needed to be able to blow him up. Oh no, Mind Control's going to be caught as well, trying to go for a kill on Roger. He just TPs away. He's not going to be caught by that nonsense. Damage over time doesn't work against VP, it seems, with their Chen. 5-14. Liquid are still up ever so slightly with a net worth lead, but a majority of it is on that lone Druid who just went down in that top jungle area.
That was a massive kill for them. That was almost his relic. If they get that kill, if they don't get that kill, he'll get his Radiance at like 14 minutes, and that's pretty annoying for VP to deal with their lineup, because Ramses is not willing to fight quite yet. Like, this guy needs to continue to scale, get some farm. Doesn't even have his first major item. Miracle again.
Is he going to get caught out one more time?
Dead.
Solo. He's going to be able to get a glimpse back here. Don't even need it. Looks like, oh, maybe. GH. They have a lot of heroes behind Miracle.
Everyone's
they actually
backing him up.
Managed to save Miracle's life here. Fortunately, VP didn't go for the engagement, though.
They're even going to find the ward up there. That was nice.
Kill the ward. Back out. Kuro.
I thought it was a free kill, but everybody came from Liquid.
Yeah. Look at these
down.
Look at these creeps. Just run at him.
Get in there, creeps. Oh, no.
Now the Chakram. They're going to kill these creeps. At least some of them. Oh, send back. At least one of them dies. Pasha. They want to go for Miracle here. Liquid's been baiting him for quite some time. The sleep in the back lines. They're going to try and find these heroes and kill the supports. They found the Venomancer. They lead up with a Static Storm now. An Ice Blast is coming in as well as the Fissure. That's going to slow down the damage. A lot of them are quite low, but they've already blown up the Venomancer, and Miracle does not have enough mana to keep fighting. GH pulled back by the Glimpse. Going to be taken out by the Terrorblade. Miracle coming back in. He's going to try and challenge all these heroes, but Jesus, this is so much damage. He may be tanky, but Ramses is too much to handle. Miracle, he's out of his goddamn mind.
And we look towards top as the tier 2 assault comes in by this bear, but Ramses gonna try to get the deny. No, Matamba Man gonna grab the last hit, almost has that Radiance, but it comes at the cost of more heroes on the side of Liquid. And Miracle,
nice little dodge there. The Nova goes down. They have a lot of damage to control and throw at no one from a distance. All these supports will lend their damage to Mind Control, and they will finally get a kill.
Feels like very similar to game 1 in that they're getting decent individual farm on their heroes, but VP,
they got a glimpse on him, but they do have the roar.
Nice roar.
Nice kinetic field, though. That'll keep Matamba Man in long enough for them to be able to get the ensnare fallback, but here comes an Ice Blast. Pasha might be in trouble. He's going to be hit by that one. Matamba Man still low. This is all worth it if VP can actually get this kill. Solo is still trying for it, but not going to be able to get him now. The healing salve to turn around. The bear is eventually going to catch Solo Hero. He does not have a TP out. He tries to go for the send back in on the Ancient Apparition, but he knows he is dead.
So, man, Liquid are just playing a game of towers right now.
Yeah.
They grab the tier 2, and VP put in an awkward spot when they lose their puck. That is a hero that just needs to continue to scale in this game. And
they did a game 1 too. This whole Liquid objective, like this super heavy focus on objectives.
Miracle doesn't even have boots, and he's 1-4-1 right now.
Just waddles around.
He is completely unfazed by that. Like, he's barely behind the puck in levels. When it comes to net worth, he's still ahead of the Naga Siren at least.
All right, Arcane boots for him. For now.
Now you've got your Radiance on Matamba Man. You've got some farm being built up by Ramses. That Yasha is so important on this hero. It's going to speed up the farm speed.
with this Dragonlance, do you think he gets a full Hurricane Pipe?
On who?
On Terrorblade.
Yeah. Against the heroes that Liquid have, almost certainly. The Force Staff is really useful against all their heroes. They've got this like 1 stun. The AA Cold Feet, it's really useful against that later on in the game when you get locked up so that you can instantly get out of it. Nice against the Lone Druid.
Yeah.
Get some separation, but Lone Druid does finish.
A coil onto Matamaman. He is in his bear form.
Oh,
So he's going to be
breaks it.
tanky. He breaks the coil though, caught by the ensnare at the same time, and it looks like VP are kind of giving up on this kill. They only got him down to half
Forgot about the
HP.
sleep. And this bear is way too strong right now.
And the Radiance, yeah, it's causing a lot of havoc to these heroes. In fact, the Fissure as well as the Ice Blast, if it lands again,
Connect.
Pasha trying to run ahead, barely gets ahead of it, but now Miracle's here. He's at least going to be able to get solo, thanks to that, in part, the Ice Blast.
They have found out that the bear, the Radiance timing of this is so powerful. And look at Miracle, just going to tank up the creeps. Continues to play as aggressively as ever. Seems unconcerned by his earlier 4 deaths. Nobody
So-
gets the tower on the side of Liquid.
Do you think we're
Creeps.
going to see like an early high ground, the same way that Liquid tried for it in Game 1?
It'll be a little bit different because they don't have, what was it, the Venomancer? They
Furion.
had Nature's Prophet, yeah. The Nature's Prophet was pretty key to that. Like
Yeah.
the Treants being able to tank up, and he was really farmed in that game. Plus, it was their ability to Roshan at like 13 minutes.
Roger's been spotted for quite some time. GH is going to flash his Blink Dagger on that kill.
If they're going to go for an earlier high ground, they need to grab the Aegis.
Look at him, he's trying to go for the Centaur Satyr tonight with the Centaur. Didn't get it though. $10 to 17, a 3,000 gold lead despite the kill differential. At 17.5 minutes in, that's all towers right there. Liquid are playing another very fast Game 2, similar to the playsound Game 1. But as Blitz was pointing out, it is a little bit different. They're not going to have to go in for that very fast set of racks like they did last time. They've got some heroes that scale out a little bit better. Lone Druid,
Yeah.
Timbersaw.
Lone Druid's always nice against TV because you can't sunder the bear.
And you can always play some split push shenanigans.
Plus, Reflection does nothing against your hero.
Yeah,
that's why
you're a walking Helmet Dominator. What your illusion's not
Congrats.
doing a whole lot.
they might opt to go for it even without.
But VP,
They're ready.
they're ready for this fight indeed. Miracle is going to be the first one out. He wants to be a target here, and he will make himself one. They're going to go for the ensnare and the sleep. Now heading towards that back line.
They want the Lone Druid.
They're going to set
all
up
in
on this
for
Lone Druid. They need to be able to blow him up fast. Ramses, though, and Echo Slam into the side. They're going to try and stop some of this damage. They do manage to finish off the Lone Druid pretty quickly. Ramses is fighting through Miracle as best as possible. Doesn't have the Sunder anymore. Already used it. Venomancer caught in the ensnare. They're going to try and finish him off with no one as well as Pasha. But Miracle is still a beast in this fight. Has half of his HP and a little bit more mana to go. So he's going to try and catch Pasha. Nice Fissure usage. Holds him up a little bit longer. Now he's in low ground. Chakram over the top. Pasha dodged a little bit longer, but Mind Control's wards will clean up the kill. A 2-for-3 exchange. So the Lone Druid died, but VP still walked away limping.
Yeah, that backline Echo Slam, the Timbersaw, finally tanky enough to take this fight. GH, very good teamfight positioning. They knew they had to sack the Lone Druid. The target from VP was going to be that Lone Druid. He's so strong and farmed. And now look at the Timbersaw's net worth. He is caught up in a big way. 4 consecutive kills for him. Matamaman going to go deal with bottom. But he's got to be a little bit more careful. The sleep target will always be him.
You could see that Ramses, he kind of positions himself as well, but Miracle really interrupts him pretty quickly. He has to use an early Sunder.
Oh, look at this. Pasha may get caught out again. Kuro is the target right now. Ice Blast flies out.
Nice sweep on through from Miracle. Is going to be able to take him out with the Timber Chain. VP have to retreat now. Miracle looks for more. Solo definitely dodges that Chakram.
GH trying to time things out. Fissure's going to whiff.
Puck will get away. Puck, who's currently working on a Dagon. Apparently, just more burst damage against Liquid.
They've got to kill Matamaman, isolate out the supports, then just deal with them one-on-one, one by one. That's the best way for them to play this game. Puck feels like he's pretty unkillable. He's probably right. especially when the Lone Druid goes down. So his kite potential, being able to repeatedly dig on people, is going to be so useful for them.
It kind of seems like to me VP are a little bit scared of Liquid and the way they're pressuring them. They're actually going to go for an earlier BKB on this Terrorblade as sort of the first real big item pickup from him.
VP smoked up. They want to take this fight. Pasha doesn't have the sleep. The orb is going to check for this right now. Matamba Man is going to pop his true form. Everyone gathering around. Look at the long rotation from no one.
Solo with his smoke, the puck at the top lane as well. A scan, hit some of those illusions. How is VP gonna get inside of this pit? There's a bear inside and wards everywhere.
They're waiting for the sleep to come up, and Pasha's finally got it, but they're gonna see that they're on a timer right now.
Liquid is pretty well spread out. It's gonna be a hard catch if he tries to run in with this sleep, especially with the ward scouting so much out. The orb's gonna go, look into the pit one more time, and it's low. Miracle's trying to finish it off. The bear, Mind Control's gonna try and challenge these heroes, make sure the sleep
There's
goes
the
off.
sleep.
And maybe with the chalk up as well, he's gonna be able to just jump in, grab that Aegis. Now Pasha, he picks it up. Though he doesn't have a TP, so he's gonna have to give up his life.
He's spamming help. He's okay with that trade. The timing on that. 32 health on that Rosh, I think. Pasha walks in, snags it for himself. He's gonna die, but the greater objective.
They caught +1 though. Solo goes for the TP out with the Static Storm. That was a smart play. That will actually allow him to survive.
Not bad at all. They even got the last hit on the Rosh.
Yeah, that could not have been more perfect. The fact that Roshan wasn't on top of the Chakram helped out quite a bit in securing that bounty. TP over to the side lane, using the bear to deal with the split push with his passive Radiance Burn. BKB is now up for Ramsey, so VP will feel a little bit more comfortable taking these team fights. Matamba Man, though, with his Helmet Dom, has picked up a Siege Creep, so between the bear and the Siege Creep, these towers will not last for long.
Liquid with their Venomancer strat. Gonna go high ground again at a very early time. Last time I think it was like 16 minutes. This time around 22 minutes is the push, but VP.
The bear will die, Matamba Man summons a new one.
Unlike last game, they are defending this. They
Dagon.
don't want to be put into a similar position.
Poking and Miracle, he's actually dropped. He's already dead. BKB activated by Ramses as he wants to fight this. They're going to be able to get the glimpse back on a Matamba Man. See if they can slow him down. The jump out for the orb, he actually doesn't go for it. As they're
BKB's
feeling a
down
little
now.
bit threatened. Ramses,
Ice
he's a
Blast
bit
over
low
the
with the
top.
Ice Blast coming in. They do need to send him back. He gets back to base, but he's ticking down for the poison. He is dead. GH in the back line just died to the puck, who's staying. Oh no, he got caught by the cold feet.
Oh, and they're going to re-engage off of this, and now he's going to die. Nice timing on the fear. Lone Druid swapped the Radiance to himself because he knew he wouldn't have a second bear.
That is smart, and now with 2 cores down, Liquid, they're going to poke at that tier 3 a little bit more. It only has a bit of HP. If they could take it down, go for those early shrines, a big advantage,
There's
but
the
now they're
sleep,
going to be caught
buyback
by the
on
sleep. The buyback comes out from the puck, and they are grouped up together. This is a perfect opportunity, not just for the Static Storm, for the AoE nukes of the puck. Ice Blast coming out. He's going to nail Soul in the back line, so they're going to lose him, but they need to finish off Mind Control now. No one bouncing around, trying to get slow damage onto Mind Control bit by bit, but Kuro, he's just manning up, trying to finish off Pasha. A little bit scared now of no one, chased away. GH is here now, so the puck is going to give up on this engagement, give up on the extra kills. That was 2 buybacks out from VP in a Liquid. Looks like they will give up on this push. They don't have their Lone Druid after all, and they took the tier 3 successfully, so they're not going to be feeling too bad about that.
Yeah, I think they're going to be calm. The 2 buybacks were forced. That was a 10-second BKB and the meta used on the Terrorblade. If they wanted, they could probably go for it again. Hype is now complete on the Veno. Similar to game number 1. They're just going to build a lot of these utility items so they can go for the early high ground. A's almost got the medallion, and Kuro should be commended for the amount of Ice Blast that he's hit.
Yeah.
But Miracle has to be way more careful.
Yeah, for some reason, even though that's been proven wrong time and time again, he thought he was a tanky beast who could take whatever damage that VP threw at him.
He's like, I can't die until I've died.
He does have a Bloodstone this time around, so death will be a little bit more beneficial to the rest of his allies.
No one without the buyback. He's pretty worried about this. He's just going to start buying out. Very freeing feeling when you know you don't have to save gold anymore.
This would be a great Aghanim Scepter game for this Naga Siren if Pasha can complete it. Against this damage over time, the Timber Saw and the Venomancer.
Yeah, it's really good against the Veno. The ward is going to get laid down. Mind Control going to break the smoke. The rest of the team connecting for this tier 2. Last one of the game, VP. They got to be really careful if they want to defend this. They don't have buyback on 2 of their heroes. I like their decision and their commitment, though, this time around to actually defend their towers.
Yeah. Did you see that, by the way?
No.
One of the first times that I've seen a Timber Saw hit the 100 damage.
Oh.
Miracle wants to hit towers.
He wants to end the game.
He is hitting for 200 damage a hit now.
Everyone's a tower hitter.
Yeah. It's quite the interesting idea. The wards will help them take the shrines, or at least one of them anyway. The top shrine's still up. I don't imagine Liquid are going to try and go for high ground until that second Roshan, though. Unless they find a really good pickoff. Perhaps Solo is the one to start things off here with a blink in. They're going to be able to catch him.
And they popped Hand of God here, trying to save him. That was ambitious.
He did buy back last time, so he's dead for an extra long period, a full minute.
Yeah, but if Liquid want to go for mid, they've got to deal with the creeps first. This Terrorblade illusion is making it difficult for them. Maybe if the Timber Saw connects right now, Miracle. But looks like they're just trying to get map control, I think.
All right, looks like because of the fear of the Ice Blast, our Naga Siren is going to change it up and go for a pipe instead. Feels a little bit more reliable.
It's going to mitigate a lot of the damage of the Venomancer too, and the Radiance burn.
Assault Kiras. Next up for Matumba Man.
GH about to hit his level 12. Get the level 2 Echo Slam.
That certainly adds a lot, especially VP are going to be pretty grouped up when they're trying to defend this base. A lot of opportunities for GH, potentially.
Yeah, Liquid just really want to wait for the Aegis so that if their Lone Druid gets caught up by the sleep.
And outside of the Earthshaker plus Ice Blast combination, they don't have a ton of burst damage to rely on to blow up this Terrorblade, so Lotus Orbs would certainly hold a lot of value for Liquid, and that's what the Timber Saw is going for now.
Terrorblade going to send the illusions into the shrine area, or where it used to
So
be.
they're
Anyways,
going to
the
forward.
caught.
Solo's going to be caught here, trying to go for the Fisher. Echo Slam out as well. Fisher held out until the Yule Scepter comes back down. Solo is going to die here. Ramses pushes forward off of the sleep.
They're
he
trying to
does
get to
have a
Matsu.
Sunder, so they're going to be able to get to Matsu. Hold him in with the Ensnare. Low HP off of the Sunder, and he should die here thanks to a Dagon. Ramses looks for more on the side. Kuro. Maybe he just wants to be able to TP out of here. He's got a TP in his backpack.
Trying to find
The rest of
Ramses.
Liquid are trying to hunt him right now.
They know he's got no Sunder.
And he's going to be caught with the Yule Scepter. This Chain Stun is going to come out with the Enchant Totem. Fisher combination. A Force Staff from Pasha is not enough to be able to save him.
They want to continue to go for this Pasha. Going to get gone on Matumba Man already with the buyback. They want to end this game.
Pasha blown up as well. Liquid keep pushing forward. They've taken the tier 3 mid. Matumba Man with the buyback and a slow stroll through the middle lane. Looks to be able to push that out. Now Roger caught in the back line. They know he's dead. Double kill there. It's just the puck. And now the Naga Siren with a buyback and the Disruptor just now coming back up. But they lack the damage of the Terrorblade, so it's going to be a tough call for VP to be able to hold this one out.
And Miracle jumping forward with GH. Trying to see what they can find. But the tower's the greater objective. Matumba Man takes this so fast with the bear. No one.
It blows him up immediately. No one's a little bit low, so he's got to get back to the base. Miracle, he's trying to hunt him down right now. The rest of the team is going for the racks.
He's just trying to create space so that his team can get this Rax. The first melee Rax is down. Matumba Man's going to start marching towards mid. 5 seconds for this Terrorblade.
GH, his Earthshaker is almost back. After the buyback, he's been walking in. The Glimpse back with the Terrorblade now alive. They're going to go for Matumba Man. See if they can get him inside the static storm with Ramses. Popping the BKB. They go for the kill, and they've got a die back for him. No one going to get blown up by the Ice Blast. They need to be able to deal with Miracle, though. He's at half HP with the BKB now worn out on the Terrorblade. He's got to play it a little bit slow. The Chakra starts clearing some of these creeps. But the Spirit Vessel is making sure he's just not getting a whole lot of regen. Chen actually completes that TP, almost immediately dies with a 4-man Fisher out from GH. A little bit of survival. Hand of God not going to be good enough. Miracle He's going to be caught a little bit longer with the Riptide out. They need to be able to finish him off. He can't get to low ground right now. He's caught by the ensnare. Another Timber chain up in a second for Ramsey. Just can't do the damage fast enough. A sleep goes out right before the enchant totem. Ramses has been fighting this out without Metamorphosis for 20 straight seconds. Liquids are going to just try and take Megas while that's down. He's got Sunder up, but he needs 13 more seconds until his big damage is up. They're going to go for the kill, actually. They're going to try and Timber Chain over. GH has him with the Fisher. A Yule Scepter coming up. Ice Blast over the top, possibly. He needs to be able to get off the Sunder, but he's blown up instantly. Chakram takes him out. GG, well played, is called by VP.
And VP, their first 2 losses of the tournament. It's been 5 matchups
and
straight.
The first 2-0 series between VP and Liquid of this season as well.
That was very dominant game number 2. My favorite thing about this patch, by the way, is the way that buyback has changed. People are just decisively trying to play for the win at this point. Liquid with another look.
They absolutely understood the timings on the buybacks from VP, the Metamorphosis as well that they played around Team Liquid. They saw weakness. They all in and push that advantage, and VP will fall to the lower bracket in the very first round here.
Yeah, it's so surreal watching Miracle die, watching Mind Control die that many times, and it reminds you that Matama Man can still carry games when he needs to. Everyone always forgets about this guy because he has to play these side cores a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But when his team is feeding like that, he looks at the game, he sees that his Timbersaw is 0-4, he sees that Mind Control is 2-6, he can still take over. Very well done by everyone.
You may think about Matama Man's Blade Mail Viper, but don't forget about his Lone Druid. Carries the game here in Game 2 and closes out the series for Team Liquid.
Not so much a lone druid as a 5-man druid. Liquid have made their way through to the semi-final of the upper bracket, having destroyed Virtus.pro in 2 straight games after a flawless group stage. Not what we expected to see in this upper bracket. I'm not sure whether our 3 panel members expected to see this or not, but that was a fine performance from Liquid.
Yeah, definitely. They were putting a lot of pressure on mid lane and top lane, and they just left Lone Druid, which is their late game tool. And if he gets the good timing on the Radiance, which was around 14-15 minute mark, they can just group up and go together. This is the downside of the Chen in both games. If you're stuck in a base, it doesn't feel like a hero. It's always been like that. Right now you can split push more because you can send back your creeps. That's pretty much it. Like if you're stuck in a base, it feels like, especially if you go for a Midas, like we were talking about that in a losing game scenario where you decide to go for a Midas, it's not a good option.
Yeah, not a good early start for Liquid in this game though, was it? A bit worrying.
Yeah, early game wasn't so smooth. Timber died a lot, but Lone Druid was left untouched. He was the. I mean, if you look at all the 3 cores, the Venom, Timber, and Lone Druid is the hero that's the centerpiece of their tricore, and he has that Radiance timing, which Lacoste brought up. 15 minutes. He had the Helm and Radiance at 15 minutes. They took a fight at middle. They won the fight. They snowballed from there, but VP managed to sneak the Roche. I think if they didn't get that Roche,
would have been over
the
sooner,
game would have been over really soon.
Yeah, delays every time. Great, another great performance though. Such a turnaround from the group stage, Jack. Just shows, doesn't it? We can't always rely on the results from the group stage to carry on through.
Yeah, or, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it, right? One of them is if you struggle in the group stage and you lose, then you're able to play those games and learn something from them and bring them going forward. The other way to look at it is, I don't want to call it apathy, but maybe Liquid, more than any other team, not too concerned with the results of that kind of group stage. They made it through. They know what their strengths are as a team, and they're not going to really be shaken off that or suddenly rely on that confidence to carry them with momentum going into the playoffs. They know they're going to be a strong team and figure things out. And it felt like even though VP got on the board early and did punish some of the lanes of Liquid early on, they were never able to take any objectives from that. They only got 1 tower, I believe, the entire game. And then when you have a Chen and you basically lose initiative in the game, as the cost said, like this hero, it then feels very bad to have this hero. And Liquid, they're like sharks. They sense the blood in the water. They don't give you a chance. They take those objectives constantly with relentless pressure and ability.
I don't know if you watch a lot of National or Geographic, but I think they are horses. They're not sharks.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Oh
I've never seen a bear versus horse fight in National Geographic. I don't imagine it goes this way.
Well, the horses won this time over the bears, that's for sure. and they were very happy about it as well inside that booth. I mean, from Virtus.pro's point of view, it's a strange kind of result for them, isn't it? I mean,
Well,
7-0 in the
no,
groups, everything's going well, and then they play
actually-
Liquid and they just come undone again.
You know, actually, what? I remember something about Chen before this. One of the reasons why the Lone Jude had a really good time because the Chen couldn't send back the creeps. Generally, the safe laner gets a harder time because the creeps get sent back and you get pressured. But I'm starting to feel like that's maybe the difference maker here because both games they had a Chen and both games they weren't really able to punish the laning phase as hard. And that was what we expected when we saw the change with Chen.
Yeah, Liquid certainly weren't worried about it either.
Not at all. You talked about Virtus.pro. They seem sometimes like a bit overconfident. They are one of the best, if not the best team in the world right now, but it gets to their head, I think. So they should maybe lower it down a little bit and play from there. We have a
interview with Kuro on the main stage.
At the last series, you guys put a lot of emphasis on split pushing and group up. It's very different from the playstyle you have in group stage. What happened?
Well, since we have a rivalry with Virtus.pro going on, we always try to have a specific approach. So we just had a very specific preparation for Virtus.pro, and that's really it.
因为我们要打的队伍是 VP， 是一支非常强的队伍，所以我们就想在打法上来做一些变化，然后出奇制胜，然后准备了很多东西，最后也成功的拿下了比赛。
感觉好像是有点认真的意思了。那么他们小组赛到现在为止的表现也是越来越好，并且特别是今天的表现跟小组赛有一个很大的反差。想问一下，他们之前是在试阵容吗，还是在怎么样？
对，so group stage, you guys was performing okay till the tiebreaker, and now today we saw a different Liquid today. So what happened? Why is the performance has been improved so much?
Well, to put it this way, since we travel so much, it's hard for us to keep on in practice. So when we play these kind of group stage where we just rush the BO1s through, it helps us just to learn and get better and get back on track. That's really it.
就是我们平时的话，因为要旅行的时间实在是太多了，然后没有时间去训练，所以在 BOE 的小组赛里面，我们打的发挥比较一般，但也发现了自己的问题，所以我们经过了一个漫长的调整之后，是把自己的状态慢慢打出来了。
那么在明天的比赛，他们还即将迎战刚刚赢了的老干爹。既然他们对于对手的研究这么透彻，特别是像今天对 VP 的话，那么对老干爹这支战队，他们觉得现在的老干爹是一个什么样的一个状态？他们会认为是一个什么样的战况？
So moving to next round, you're gonna face LGD. How do you feel about your next opponent?
I'm excited.
That's it.
Yeah.
我非常激动吧，非常兴奋。
好的，那我们也很期待两支强队在明天为我们带来的精彩比赛。那么我们采访到这里就全部结束了，接下来还是一样的一个现场的战队应援的环节，一个抽奖的环节。来，我们有请李小姐把这个2018亚洲邀请赛的夹克递给 Croaky， 然后由 Croaky 亲笔签名，我们会送给。
We'll let him sign the shirt and pick a winner out of the box, the random box, of course, that wins that particular shirt or jacket that he has just signed. Kuro there with the interview. I found it quite interesting. Something Jack said earlier on in this tournament. We've been mocking you a little bit for blaming travelling and long travel for newbies form and all the rest of it. But actually, Liquid made the same point in there, didn't they? There's a lot of travelling. They're tired. They use the group stages to find stuff out. They're not too worried about it as long as they qualify. I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, and Discount Jack translated that well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the too much traveling. You need to adapt all the time. You're traveling too much. That's why Miracle took a break, so he can just focus, re-energize. I guess people think, yeah, they're all divas, staying in 5-star hotel, traveling all the time. You're seeing the world, but if you do it all the time, let's say 3, 4, 5 years in a row, you want to take a break. You're changing time zones. Some of them are more sensitive than others. Some of them need 3, 4, 5 days to adapt to the time schedule. It gets to their head as well. You can actually see Sumail. He looked like he was really tired in the previous series.
Yeah, he did. He looked very, very tired indeed. Let's take a look at the bracket, the updated bracket, to show you where the results have placed particular teams. Because what you'll probably notice, other than the fact that the upper bracket now has LGD versus Team Liquid, is that tomorrow we begin the day with EG versus Virtus.pro in a best-of-1 knockout game.
Who would
And
have,
all three of you just look at the screen going, wait, what?
who would have expected that?
Yeah.
That is more of a growing rivalry series. I'd say they've played each other pretty. It seems like they're always, just from like the majors last year, they always seem to meet in like the early rounds in a knockout type of situation, where they have to go through each other, and that's like the road to, well, a couple times the finals. These teams.
Yep, it's going to be very fun watching those two go head-to-head in a best-of-1. LGD, of course, the opponents for Liquid as well, so another interesting matchup. Just quick final thoughts on that series. Obviously, Virtus.pro need to bounce back from that. Jack, how do they do that?
I think they started to adjust mid-series a bit more after the first game. I think their draft was a little bit more balanced towards the early game against Liquid. Is
this just Liquid things though? Because I mean, Kuro said in the interview they do prepare specifically for Virtus.pro, and you'd imagine it's the same the other way around as well.
Yeah, it felt like though that they kind of had to move off their playstyle a little bit for the first time against Liquid, and it's very rare for somebody to be able to make VP do that. So I think that was a big part of it. Again, they talk about, are they maybe a little bit arrogant? Are they maybe a little overlooking people a little bit because they have been so dominant? I think that can definitely be a factor as well. But that goes back to the point where when you lose games, you just ultimately seem to learn a lot more because you can look for things that went wrong. It's easy when you win games to just be like, we're just rolling.
Okay. Never count out Virtus.pro, that's for sure. They'll be back in the best-of-1s tomorrow. As we said, they'll be facing off against Evil Geniuses to start their long road through the bottom of the bracket and see whether they can return back and make it to the grand final. Next up, two teams that are also searching for a grand final. It is, of course, Mineski from the SCA region and Optic Gaming from the North American region, both still searching for points towards the international. We'll find out